Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Barbell with another episode with your hosts, Larhana Robinson, Nicole Zenobia Graham, and Lou Faustin. Thank you guys again so much always for supporting the channel. You know, we can't say thank you enough. And I apologize for being out, you guys. I am back and I am not going anywhere. You know, life be lifing, and I just had a little technical difficulties with life, but I am back and I will not be gone any further. So today we have a special topic for you guys, which is body dysmorphia.
Yes, body dysmorphia, man. So much to say on that topic. Wow. Okay, where do I start? Well,
Right.
Knows my own personal struggles. I was a fashion model at one point. And with the industry standards of wanting me to be a thinner person, I ended up suffering from a bad eating disorder. I was bulimic for years. Of course, fast forward later down the road, I move into fitness. I move into bodybuilding. Now that's getting myself healthy. That's changing my whole perspective on nutrition, having a structured diet. Now, with that being said, that's great. That sounds amazing. But what we're also forgetting is that we've trained so hard to look a certain way for a specific event. And as bodybuilding, this is not a physique that is a sustainable physique that you can keep all the time. So we've gotten ourselves ready for however many shows in the season. And as the show is over and the season's over and we're moving into an improvement season, or what some people will call an off season, we start to see the weight coming back on, and start to see, obviously the water comes back on. Obviously we're, getting, more body fat, increasing in body fat. And so, we're seeing our bodies change. And what happens is we're so used to the look that we love being on stage. And then we fall into this funk of not liking basically what you see in the mirror, because this is actually what your real body is. A term from Dee Jackson, I love the term that she uses. She calls her stage body a fake body, because that is not your real body. That is the body that you are competing with. That's not a body that you're keeping all year round. So it's really, body dysmorphia is you just not liking it could be a specific part of your body. It could be anything physically. And it really, plays a lot on your psyche.
Right.
Just day to day, normal people who see us on a daily basis, they love what we look like, but we're so used to what we see on stage that we can never give ourselves grace when we do end up putting more weight, or the body changes and those lines aren't really there anymore.
Right.
We're obsessed.
I think, a lot of people don't really talk about it as much. And I think we just kind of, and I'm glad that we came together today to really talk about the topic a lot more. It needs to be talked about.
Yeah. That's a lot of bodybuilders suffer from it, and nobody wants to talk about it because nobody wants to say and admit that they have a flaw. Everybody has flaws, and one of the flaws of bodybuilding is, having body dysmorphia. And my story is similar to yours. I did have bulimia as well, but I was bullied when I was younger for being a fatty. So, the term fat, being big, anything like that to me is like a trigger from my past. So it makes me think, or make me feel like, makes me feel that I'm bigger than I actually am, or whatever I see. So whenever I'm looking in the mirror, it's like, yeah, of course, I feel like I look disformed because I'm not seeing what I saw on stage. But also on the opposite end of it, like, you appreciate the body that you put on stage more, because it's like, oh, now I'm in my improvement season. I put on a little bit more body fat. I was so stuck in my head when I was on prep thinking that my legs look like trash. Now that I'm outside of it and I see my legs on stage and I'm in my off-season body, I'm like, holy shit, I can't wait to get my off-season body. Everybody's like, oh my God, I can't wait to look like you. I'm like, I can't wait to look like me too. Hell, I can't wait to look like me too. Like, let's get that body going, So it's very extremely hard to walk around at a healthy body fat percentage. But we all know in this sport, like Lou just said, it's obsessive. We're obsessed with it. We're obsessed with being perfect. And you really do have to be a certain type of psycho to get on stage and say, hey, judges, let me know where I'm fat so I can be better and go back into the world and improve, you know, and go do these exercises so I can meet the criteria of my category and be the absolute best. So it's okay to have body dysmorphia as long as, you know, you're getting, as long as you could talk about it with somebody, you know, and understand that that's not, it's okay to see flaws in yourself, but don't get stuck in the flaws and only the flaws.
Yeah. I mean, it is characterized as, you know, a mental illness, and that's heavy, right? Because, you know, we don't want to talk about mental illness because we're seen as, you know, perfect physiques, right? We're seen like we're sculptors, we're sculptures, right? We are perfect, right? But then mentally we're not. So, and it's something that yields to, it can form mental, it can start eating disorders. You know, we start to see that, okay, I don't like the way that I look right now, or I feel like I'm so fat in these jeans, or I don't like the way that I look with no dress, with, you know, in this dress. And I'm guilty of that, right? Off stage, I put on a dress and I'm like, I'm shaped like a box, you know, and I'm telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I don't look good. I got to figure out what kind of dress style to wear because I ain't got no hips and I have these broad shoulders and I feel like I look terrible in a dress. And everybody's looking at me like, Lou, what is wrong with you? Like, but we can't talk about this with people who don't see it, right? Or they don't understand it. So what do? Can we turn to another competitor and talk about this? Because we really can't sometimes because they don't want to embrace it or we don't talk about it. So who do we turn to? And I think by us talking about it, and each one of us has had a story about body dysmorphia that we can share, but it's not just talking, it's finding ways to heal it. It's finding ways to seek that help because we don't want it to turn into depression. We don't want it to turn into, you know, an eating disorder again if we've already had one. So what do we do? Who do we turn to? And I think that's a big question that we have to ask ourselves. And, you know, people who are listening, ask your partners, ask your community, whoever is your support system, how can we fix this? How can we address this without feeling like we're ostracized in our community? So let's throw some ideas out there. Like, how do you guys think that we can fix it?
Well, for start, it's so funny that we're talking about this topic right now, but I literally had a scenario this morning. So, as we know, I have been in this industry for a while now, and you know, still learning about my body, both in prep and off season. And there's always something to learn about myself. Am I comfortable in my off season body? I still have not found that common ground where I'm comfortable in truly really embracing and loving this form of myself. And I know that I consistently put it out there, learn, oh, hey, I can put it out there and tell you, but me only being human, I'm still learning to love this part of myself. And I know how you just said, Lou, about, you know, talking to our partners, things of that nature. I kid you not, there are times where I don't want to take a shower with my significant other because I'm not comfortable with this right now. And as a male, given that we're fuller, you know, now, right? They love that, but we're so in tune with what we look like on stage. Like that's what we want to look like all the time. And as soon as that doesn't look like that, that's not the same vision anymore. The insecurities really come out. And he noticed it this morning, like really noticed it. He's like, you know, you haven't really been, you know, we haven't really been, you know, maybe TMI for y'all, but we haven't been really doing group showers. No, because like I'm not right now. So he's like, why do you keep holding yourself? Like, because he's like, so you don't like this, you don't like this, like, and I'm like, I'm really, really like, you know, uncomfortable. But he's just like, I would tell you, I would, you know, and you guys know D, you know, he's very, very, very honest with his opinion on things. And like, he's like, truth be told, do I like your stage body? I like it for what you are doing, but this is you being a woman. This is okay. you still look good. And I guess I kind of needed that reinforcement. And he literally made me stand there just like this.
Ooh, I don't know. I'd run out that bathroom.
I was
I feel like that's
for a while, comfortable for like 2 or 3 days, standing there like.
Right, but that's the best way to embrace it. He's right, though. He's 1,000,000% right. It's like, how else can you get through a storm? You know, you're not just gonna sit there in that storm and just cry in that storm. You walk through it. He's making you walk through and embracing the body you have, because when you walk out into the real world, everybody that sees you is like, damn, but neck breaker, wrist, like, bro, dropping their jaw. I'm trying to help them pick their mouth up. Like, don't you got a wife right there? Come on now. You know, tag on. As bodybuilders, when we put on that extra body fat percentage, they're looking at us. So I feel like the best way to embrace it is by doing exactly what Dee said. Get butt ass naked, go stand in your mirror and look at yourself and say, damn, my ass is fat right now. I actually like this fat ass. Like, I look good as shit.
Honestly,
go to the club, like, enjoy your freaking body. Like, you have to embrace it. There's no other way to get over it. If you're constantly covering yourself, constantly trying to put stuff over, like even me wearing this sweater right now, keeping a sweater on, is like, why am I wearing a sweater in hot ass Houston ass Texas, knowing damn well I'm gonna die the second I walk outside? Take the sweater off and let people see, because somebody's gonna comment on my shoulders, my biceps, and then there goes my potential client in the future. Like, oh yeah, you want biceps like mine? Here's my Instagram. Follow Beyond the Barbell. Buy us.
You know, you're right. You're right. That is one way of, you know, we talked about solutions. Those are 2 ways of doing that, you know, showing your body, going outside in your clothes, you know, in the clothes that you would wear, you know, when you thought you were in your best shape of your life. Another thing could be, you know, doing a photo shoot, because a lot of us feel like we got to look, and I'm guilty of it. You know, you want to be the most lean, like 2 days out or the week out, or, you know, a couple of days from having been on stage, you want to take those photo shoots. Maybe the off season. And I'm not seeing a lot of that. And I'm not talking about it being Photoshopped to create the whatever. It's really doing it in your off season and showing people that this is also beautiful. And that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, but it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be, but it is tough.
Sadly, really,
I also think affirmation,
transparency, and that's where we also run into issues, because a lot of us aren't transparent through social media. Now, it's not to say that there aren't some, but there are some who are okay with showing what they really look like. But I think a lot of the times too, we get caught up in people who aren't necessarily bodybuilders, just the normal, average, maybe fitness person or everyday person. And what they see when we are at our peak condition, we have it in our minds where they're judging us. So that's thing that's kind of added, because they don't really understand that there's 2 different phases here that we don't at all the time. So I think there's a fear of judgment that's also going to be placed.
Yeah.
And it because we are the role models, you know, of our division. We're walking around, you know, as figure pros, showing the figure amateurs, this is how it is to be a figure pro. So we're walking around in these insecurities. How can we be better to show them, you know, that this is awesome? You can love yourself, you know, and inspire people at the same time. And I believe in daily affirmations as well. I really do believe in manifesting and speaking things into existence and seeing things. So I have a lot of my clients do those things. Tell me 5 things that you love about yourself and put those on a sticky note, put one in your car, put one on the fridge, put one on your mirror. All of these things are going to help you become better and start believing in yourself and loving yourself, because that's what it comes down to, is just loving yourself for who you are. And that's it. It doesn't matter, because literally the men that we're with, they're so lucky, y'all. They have a real life transformer. They get 7 bodies all year. Like, y'all get 7 different bodies, because we transform all year as we're going through these phases. You get a thick. Then I'm coming down. I get lean as shit, and you get all those bodies that come in between the leanness. You know what I mean? Like, they literally, you don't need nothing else when you get a bodybuilder, because you have all of it in one-stop shop.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think these are great solutions. And, you know, we just tossed a few out there. Do photo shoots. Look at yourself completely vulnerable, naked in the mirror. daily affirmations, write them on the mirror. Like take that lipstick or that, I don't know, washable marker and write write the things that you like about yourself on the mirror. So you look at that and it's like, it's something, it's there, it's staring you down.
Right. I mean, hey, even to throw out there, therapy. So
yes.
maybe to speak perfect stranger. That can work too. Because body dysmorphia is one of those things that there's no actual cure for this, mental, thing of just not being able to see what everybody else sees. So I really just think, again, just learning to love yourself, but obviously talking about it helps. Yeah. Talking about it. And if you have to get therapy to go ahead and do it, by all means, to note that if this is something that isn't, taken care of or talked about, addressed, this is something that can lead into obsessive compulsive disorder, right? Where you're consistently always going to be thinking about it, which will trigger other behaviors. Thing with eating disorders. So, for example, myself, Lorhana, we from already having an eating disorder, this can move into another, another eating disorder because you just get so obsessed with not being perfect and you consistently want to fix because you're just unhappy with the body that you're living in. And this is just something that you have to address and learn to love yourself. I think, the examples that you guys gave are perfect affirmations, literally looking yourself in the mirror and saying to yourself 5 things about what you love about yourself.
Yeah. And I want to preference this. This is not an issue that only affects women. Men, male competitors are also, and again, it's not, I feel like it's not even spoken even more amongst the male bodybuilders or the male competitors or what have you, because it's a sign of weakness, right? And it's not, but it's a sign of weakness in this type of culture. And so if you see your partner picking at their softer abs, and they're like, man, I don't look good. It's big boy season. It looked good. I mean, listen, I like my man with a little bit of, yeah.
But sadly, I feel it's more accepted for men, their off season versus seeing a woman who isn't all tight and right at the moment.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Because they don't have to take their shirt off, let's say for expos, they don't have to wear something tight as long as the arms look good, the shoulders are still there. You feel me? Meanwhile, we're at expos, if we're in an off season, we got to wear a sports bra and some short shorts. And it's like, can I wear what he's wearing?
Like,
they don't
right here.
Like that. They don't eat on the body fat like us. I literally breathe air and I gain weight. Come on now. How is that? They lose weight when they breathe. How can I be on that side?
Yeah.
Guys should be able to talk about it because it is very real. And it affects them the same way that it affects us. They're getting up there and they're getting their bodies picked apart by these judges just like we are. So it's only natural, it's only human to go home and say, dang, the judge told me my ass was small. So now I got to do everything to make my ass get bigger. It's very, very human to do that. You have to find a happy medium to not be obsessed with these critiques. That's the whole point of it. Don't get obsessed. Find a happy medium where, like Nicole said, I'm still in the same boat. I'm trying to figure out what weight I could stay at on my off season where I still look like a bodybuilder and I feel comfortable. People will still say she works out. Like, seriously. I feel like everything that we, the advice that we gave is going to help a lot, but you have to first accept the fact that you do have this, problem. If you can't accept the fact that you have, body dysmorphia, then you're never going to be able to overcome it and heal from it and learn how to live with it, because it will, and sometimes it does have to be a live with it type of thing.
Ooh, that was nice. Yeah. Anyone else have any closing parting thoughts?
No.
I think Lorhana summed it up well.
I mean, not for me, but personally, after this episode airs and, you had that, awesome post, I would love to hear, our viewers, point of view on, maybe what they've been dealing with. We'd love to hear, your stories, and, maybe even be able to, post a few relating to you guys. It can, stay confidential if that's the case, if you, don't feel comfortable, letting, the general public know who you are. But we would love to be able to share, some stories and things that, you guys have maybe have gone through.
That's an awesome idea. We could actually start a freaking segment on this topic if we want to, and give people a spotlight that have gone through some of these things, that want to give their testimony to tell us how they overcame it or how they're living with it. That's a really, really good idea, Nicole.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at the positive coming out of an issue that we don't talk about, but we're all going through. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think we're going to go ahead and do that. Thank you guys. And thank you guys for listening and watching.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Per usual, we like to keep it real here. So anything that y'all want to add to this episode, or anything that y'all want to hear in the future, you all know, DM us, any of us three, and we'll get back with y'all as soon as we can. Again, thank y'all so much for supporting the channel. We look forward to hearing all the comments and seeing the people in the future who want to, tell their testimony. So thank y'all so much. And until the next episode, we'll see y'all again. Bye.